Mike Pence has been trying to get back in the public conversation a little bit, and I have a couple moments to show you. The first is him getting asked if he would support Trump if he ran for re-election. And again, you're asking the person who had his followers, Trump's followers, were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And so it's interesting to see that there's even a question there that Mike Pence would have to be asked that. You would assume he would have already been so outspokenly against Donald Trump at this point, but he hasn't because I guess he's weak. I've said he's very, very bad politically in all these ways, but I do respect what he did on January 6th in not capitulating to the actions that Trump wanted him to. But then I also don't respect the way that he acted after, which was to be very meek and not stand against the horrible things that were done on that day. And just as importantly, the build up to it, trying to overturn the 2020 election. So take a look at this first, though, before we look at that interview or that Q&A. Former Vice President Mike Pence on Wednesday warned against the growing populist tide in the Republican Party as he admonished Putin apologists unwilling to stand up to the Russian leader over his assault on Ukraine. Speaking at the Conservative Heritage Foundation in Washington, less than a month before November's midterm elections, Pence addressed the growing gulf between traditional conservatives and a new generation of populist candidates, inspired in part by former President Donald Trump. Quote, "Our movement cannot forsake the foundational commitment that we have to security, to limited government, to life, and to liberty and to life. But nor can we allow our movement to be led astray by the siren song of unprincipled populism that's unmoored from our oldest traditions and most cherished values," he told the think tank audience. "Let me say, this movement and the party that it animates must remain the movement of a strong national defense, limited government, and traditional moral values and life." Yeah, that's something you should have said a long time ago. Of course, I disagree significantly with him on most political things. But if you wanted to keep the Republican Party one of traditional values, blah, 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 maybe you shouldn't have bolstered the Trump message for all the years that you did, right, Mr. Vice President under Trump? So I do agree with him, though, that this weird populist strand of the Republican Party that is very nationalist and kind of wanting a little bit of a theocratic government, that would be the ideal thing for a lot of these right-wing nationalists, is dangerous. And I guess if I had to choose, I would pick the old Republican Party over this new unhinged, fully unhinged one. But here's the question he got asked and the way that he responded about Trump.
Mr. Pence, thank you for being here. My name's George Clay. I'm a PhD candidate in the history department.
Hi, George.
Mr. Pence, if Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president in 2024, will you vote for him?
Well, there might be somebody else I'd prefer more. You know, what I can tell you is I have every confidence that the Republican Party is going to sort out leadership. All my focus has been on the midterm elections, and it'll stay that way for the next 20 days. But
okay, so you can see there, he goes, "I think somebody else," talking about himself. But as I said earlier, Trump sicked a mob on you, dude. They were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And all you got is, you know, maybe there's someone better. Talking about yourself. Weak. But I've concluded, I was thinking about this. I said many times on the show that Pence could never win in a Republican primary. They are still way too MAGA for Pence to beat someone like Trump or DeSantis. But I do want to see him run, only because I know there's some loyalists. I've met a good amount of Pence loyalists who voted for Trump because they respected Pence so much and they like that kind of traditional vibe, who maybe you could get to turn against Trump in the general if they saw Pence and Trump feud over and over during a primary. Who knows? But again, no chance that Pence could win. Very interesting dynamic playing out there.